Basically, I joined in the 70s. It wasn't very equal. In fact, when I joined, we weren't even allowed to wear trousers. And the pay was really bad, and so a lot of us moonlighted. And I had a particular detective sergeant who had his own little agency, and they had no women to look after Middle East royalty. And of course, because of that cultural difference, they needed women. So I used to moonlight doing that, and then discovered that I could go off and do that in the private world. So that's what I went to do. Okay, so what you've just described are mostly the guys that are used in the music industry. On the executive side, the corporate side of close protection, it's very, very different. It's obviously well-trained, physically fit, but they can be male or female. Don't be put off by height, because it doesn't matter how tall or short you are, you can still put somebody on the ground if you need to, if you're trained to. Ooh, what can I bring to my role as a female? I suppose we're natural nurturers, aren't we? And we tend to be calm. We don't have the testosterone, let's get in there and have a bundle. I'll do anything to avoid that, because if you have a fight, you've lost. You know, the whole thing is about protecting your client, your principal, and removing them from any threat that you see coming at you. So I think as a female, we're really good at talking our way out of situations and talking our way into places too. You've got to know a bit more than they do, hopefully. But also on my particular teams, I ask everybody for their opinion. So I'll have done the risk assessment, I'll have laid out the way I believe the client wants things done. And again, if it's corporate, then they're going to be going to business meetings. If they're foreign royal family, they're probably going to want to do a lot of shopping and eating. So it depends. So then you put together your team depending on what the criteria for the client is. Does the client want to go horse riding? If so, I've got to have members of the team that horse ride. Do they want to go jet skiing? Again, they've got to have those skills. I like people that are diplomatic, that are quiet. I don't like show-offs. They don't do well on my teams. Knowledge. You know, if we're going to Russia, then I expect people on the team to have been to Russia before and have got knowledge of in-country. That's what I want from my team. Due diligence is huge, because you only ever want to work for somebody that's friendly with your government. You want to make sure that you're looking after them or working for them for the right reasons, and can they afford you? So, you know, you have to look at their credit background. Why do they feel that they need close protection? And if they don't tell you the truth, you know, if they're on a political hit list, for example, then we need to know that, or we can find that out. If they're on a gangster hit list, that's something completely different. So yeah, we have to do a lot of due diligence. NDAs, NDA, let me start. But a lot of the clients we look after are ultra high net worth individuals. So Russian billionaires, Chinese billionaires. We look after celebrities if they have a high threat against them. That's not our sort of thing as a rule, to look after a celebrity for the sake of keeping fans away from them. Foreign royal families who culturally, the women in the family, the princesses, have to have female close protection. My job has been fabulous. You know, I've travelled around the world, I've eaten in Michelin-starred restaurants, as you say, private jets. That part of life is lovely, but that's a very small part of what we do. You have, there's a lot of stress, because you are ultimately responsible for that person's life. So you have the stress of looking after your team as well, being away from home, being away from family. So you do that job, but your family get dragged along with it. You're never home for birthdays, anniversaries. You know, if you can get home for a funeral, you're lucky. that depends on the risk to them. If you're on a very high risk job where somebody's definitely trying to kill your principal, then obviously that's a huge risk to you as well, because you've got to take the bullet if it comes. It depends on what country you're in as well. So over here in Europe, the risk isn't so great as it is when you go out to high risk areas like Afghan or Iraq. In the corporate world, counter-industrial espionage, quite often, if you've got a company that's got a new product coming out, then it's all a big secret, and if that gets sold, that secret gets sold to a rival company, then we go in and we find out who sold that. And a lot of the time you have to remember company boards don't want their shareholders to know what's going on. So it's all done underneath. We undertake a lot of surveillance work. If there's going to be company takeovers, the company that's taking over wants to know what the directors on the other side are getting up to. Are they living above their means? Are they out snorting coke and dealing with prostitutes every night? They want to know that before they take that company over. So we do a lot of surveillance work, a lot of counter-industrial espionage. We can certainly teach them planning and preparation as far as risk is concerned, because our whole job is to avoid confrontations and letting our principals get anywhere near a problem. So from us, they can learn how to avoid risk, how to mitigate risk, and what to do in the event that that risk occurs. When I do after dinner speeches, I divide the audience up and teach them, you're going to be the bodyguard, you're the principal, and you're the bad guys, and we play this whole ridiculous game of this is how I do my job. On the corporate side, it's serious. People seriously want to know about risk management. People seriously want to know how to protect themselves. Over the past couple of years, workplaces, Charlie Hebdo got attacked. There is lots of things they could have done to avoid that. And recently I've been teaching a lot of companies what to do in that event of a live shooting. As a bodyguard, of course, if we're going to look after a principal, we have to make sure there's escape routes. There aren't choke points if they're in a vehicle. So that all transfers over to the corporate side. What are your choke points? What is the risk to you or to your company? How can you avoid that risk? And so again, as a bodyguard, we do a lot of smooth talking of lots of people to get our client goes from A to B really smoothly, and they just think that's fabulous how it's done. What they haven't seen behind the scenes is all the route wrecking that has gone into that. We've had to go to a venue, to the hotel. We have to look at those places. Is it safe? Can somebody get to you? What happens if a fire breaks out on the 10th floor? We only ever try and put our principals on the 5th, because that's as high as the fire ladders will go. So that's all those little risks that you have to manage. And in the corporate world, it's exactly the same. Manage the small risks and you'll avoid the big. When you're driving, so you get into your vehicle, first thing you should do is lock the doors. Put your handbag or purse under a seat. Never leave it on the passenger seat, because then somebody can just break the side window and steal it. Out of sight, out of mind. If you're driving at night and you're going to a 24-hour shopping place, make sure you park in where there's a lamp, a light you can be seen. Never park next to a van with a side door to it, because that's quite easy to open and bundle you into it. Once you've finished your shopping and you're coming out to the car park, ask the uniformed security guard at the store to walk you to your car. They'll be more than happy to do their job. People just think, oh, they're there for nothing. The same when you're coming out of your office. If you're coming out your office because you've worked late and you've got to go to the car park, ask the security to walk you to the car, or ask them to watch you on CCTV to make sure you get in your car. Before you get in the car, look in it. Look in the back seat, make sure nobody's hiding. If you get in, you've locked the doors, you have cut down the risk of you being attacked by 90%. If somehow you haven't done that and you're attacked whilst you're in the car, never drive out the car park. Drive into the nearest vehicle. Because at 10 miles an hour, you'll set all the alarms off. The most you would do to yourself is probably break your wrist. And that's far better than being driven out of the car park and being a crime scene 10 miles down the road. Hide if you can. Turn your phone to silent. Text, one general text to everybody that's in your phone book, help, I'm at, exactly where you are. Dial 999 if you can. Explain, if you can, really quietly, try and tell them where you are, what's going on, where you're hiding. If you're out in the street and this is going on, then street furniture, chairs, dustbins, cones, whatever you can use to fight with, because if the intruder finds you, you've got to fight your way out of that situation. Great for me, I'm trained to do that. However, members of the public, let me tell you, your adrenaline will shoot up. You'll be really scared and you might freeze, stick your thumbs in and pump. Your adrenaline will kick in automatically and you will have a lot more strength than you realise. So if you have to fight, use anything you can to fight with, because it's your life at the end of the day. And what we saw at London Bridge was lots of people fighting those attackers, throwing bar stools at them, dustbin lids, cones, any sort of street furniture, and a lot of people survived because of that.